Welcome, everyone. It's Monday. We don't have to get it together first. Sometimes when I'm talking to people, they say, well, I gotta fix this, and I gotta do this, and I gotta do that before I can change or become the person I wanna be. No, you don't. You decide who you want to be, and start. You start putting yourself in that mental place and rehearsing it. That's it. Think about it. If we had to wait until we got it together, I tell you, some of us will be waiting a long time. So we don't have to wait to get it together. Decide who you want to become and start to do what? Experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. That's where one begins. But, there's no but. You don't have to get it together. You don't have to get your life together before you can change. Oh, I gotta change my eating before my body gets better. I gotta, you do. No, you don't have to. Because waiting to get it together, waiting to get it right, is an excuse. Could be coming from fear. It could be coming from a lot of things, right? So what we do is we remind ourselves that we have this thing going on and we say, okay, who do I want to be? Right here, right now. And you start to rehearse who you want to be. You don't have to wait for that. That's like saying, I gotta wait till I'm worthy of love before I can get it. No, you don't have to be worthy of something before you can participate in it. Think about that. The next time we're tempted as we speak and we say, yeah, but I gotta wait until this happens, or I gotta wait until that happens. Be reminded that your job, my job, is to decide on what or who we want to become. That's our job. It's not something else. You got to make the decision. That's up to you. And you see, then we make the decision. What did we say? Oh my God. Grasp that one thing, that you do not have to wait. You don't have to wait until you deem yourself worthy or good enough. Because you do that. Think about it. If you say, well, I gotta wait until I'm good enough, What's your mental attitude that you are reinforcing? Inferior. That's what you're reinforcing. So if you're reinforcing the mental attitude of, oh my God, I'm totally inferior. And so, like, when I get it together, then my life will change. It is that mental attitude that you live from. That's the mental attitude, right? So just remind yourself when like, so you can catch it before it even happens. So when you start saying it to yourself, because we say it all the time. We say it so much that we don't hear that we're saying it. Mm-hmm. We say it so much we don't even hear that we're saying it. That's why we don't catch it. And then we go through life feeling unsatisfied, unfulfilled. And then what do we say? Oh, I gotta get satisfied first. I gotta do this first. The only job that is required is what you are rehearsing mentally. That's it. That's it. The moment you decide upon who you want to be, what you want to be doing, so long as you persist in that behavior, what is that behavior? The mental attitude that accompanies change you want to see. Mm. Once you start recognizing that you put yourself in that mood, period. That's it. Just put yourself in the mood. Why? Why just the mood? Because every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. That's why you don't have to force who you want to become. You don't have to force that. You decide who you want to become. And then you rehearse the mental attitude that accompanies that change. Well, Angela, how will I know what to do? How will I know what to do? Because the actions are predetermined. What do you mean that the actions are predetermined? Every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. So when you choose a particular cause, an effect follows. Did you force it? No. You just allowed it to happen because that's what it does naturally. So that's why if you are sitting there saying, well, I gotta wait till I fix my inner child, I gotta wait until I'm done the dark night of the soul. I gotta wait till I do this. I gotta wait till I do that until before my life can change. And so long as you believe, so long as you believe that that is what you have to do, well, the principle of correspondence says what? As within, so without, as above, so below. That's what we do. Yeah, but Angela, that's too easy. How long is that supposed to take? What do you mean it's too easy? If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, Angela. Oh, because we give up far too easily. Mm-hmm. We grow weary in doing good. Talking about, oh, are we there yet? Am I this new person yet? Keep looking for the change. No, you're busy living the change. How are you busy living the change? By experiencing in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. You're busy doing that. So today, what are you going to do about that? Hmm? Are you going to wait until your life is right before? Or are you going to make that choice? Are you going to make that choice, which is the cause, and the cause will bring about the effect, and you will just act it out? Ponder these things. Think about that for a minute. You mean I don't have to suffer? Doggone right, as Daddy would say. Doggone it. You don't have to. We take our time and we practice. But, Angela, how am I supposed to forgive them? How am I supposed to let it go so that I can just be who I want to be? Well, then you ask yourself this question. Holding on to the problem, hmm? Holding on to the person in your mind's eye, what does it benefit you right now to hold on to it? What is it benefiting you? List off those benefits, and then you'll realize, oh, they don't have a benefit. To hold unforgiveness does not hold a benefit to you. So, what will you do, my beautiful friends? Are you going to try and fix your life before you fix your life? You know, it's funny when the cleaner's gonna come over. What do people do? They clean their house before the cleaner comes over. If you have a housekeeper, you know what I'm talking about. I don't have a housekeeper, but I used to work in that field and schedule the appointments. And technically speaking, you were supposed to go by every 2 weeks, right? You'd send somebody in there every 2 weeks to clean. And I always thought it was funny the way they would say, yeah, but I got to clean it before they get here. And I would always ask, so if you want to clean it before they get there, why do you need them? You just save your money. And they'd say, because I don't want them to see how oh, you don't want them to see how you really live. Okay, I get it. So who we putting on a show for? Hmm? That's what I'm getting at. You don't have to be performative because that would tell you that you're comparing yourself to someone else and you are dissatisfied with who you are. That's why you want to be them. But you are you. You're you. So be you. So be you. Wow. Don't sit around and wait until you, quote unquote, have it together. No, no, don't wait till you have it together. Because what are you doing? You're waiting, right? As within, so without. Well, you're waiting. Well, here, let's wait some more. Instead, examine your life. Examine your life, and you'll see something that you don't want to be anymore. And when you see what you don't want to be anymore, use that to build the picture of what you want to be. You know, if you don't want to be hungry, you paint the picture of a beautiful spread of what you would be eating. Well, of course, right? That's what you do. So, step one, acknowledge where you are and what you are doing that you say you don't want to do anymore. Step two, decide who you want to become. Decide what you want to be doing. Decide what kind of life you want to have. Oh, well, how do you decide what kind of life you want to have? By experiencing in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. Further down this week, we're going to be talking about the mundane things. Mm-hmm. You got step two down. Experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality. See, it has a mindset. It has an accompanying mindset. I will say this to you every day, like I've been saying to you for the past, it's been more than 5 years. I'll say it to you that many times until it clicks and you go, up. Who do I want to be? Let me see if I can see it. And if you don't see it, you ask yourself, what would I be doing? And how would I feel about that? That's what you ask yourself. What would I be doing? What would that feel like when I'm doing it? Oh. And a lot of people don't do it that way because A, they don't know. B, they're impatient. Yeah. You take your time with this. Because the reason why you're taking your time with it is because you want to get that thing. That thing that you'd be doing, you want to get that thing. And when you get that thing, you want to revel in the feeling of that thing and practice what that feeling is. So you take the time, and if you have to go through 30 different things, you go, no, not quite. No, not quite, not quite. Oh, no, 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 wait. I would be doing this for sure. Because I know me. I'd be doing this. Good. Well, then The mentality of it. Can you feel the mentality? Can you feel how you'd walk into the room if that was you living your ideal? How would you walk into that room? What is that attitude? Yes. And once you have recognized the mental attitude and seen that thing that you would do, now you begin to experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. That's what you do. But why does it have to take so long, Angela? Why does it have to take so long? Mm. Remember what you are doing when you rehearse that feeling as well as the image, the accompanying image of it, that thing that you would be doing. Remember what you are doing when you rehearse. When you rehearse, because we live by way of our neurological pathways. Oh, yes, we do. This is why Alzheimer's is such a very bad thing. Because it erases the pathway and we forget. We forget. And they're called what? Memory, all alone in the moonlight. Right? They're called memories. What do you think memories are? Memories are neurological pathways. And how do they get there? They get there through repetition, but not just any old repetition. That's the long way. They get there through feeling repetitively. Remember, Neville Goddard says feeling is the secret. Maya Angelou said, people may forget what you tell them, but they will remember how you made them what now? How you made them feel. Why? Because when you feel, the neurological pathway happens right away, like a hot branding iron. That's why we open up our mouths and say, oh my God, they left such an impression on me. Where do you think that impression is? Mm. In your brain, a pathway. So now you keep looking for that thing, that pathway, because you want to recreate the feeling of it. I know that seems dramatic, but you'll remember it, won't you? You'll remember it. And then you remember it, what will you do? You'll do it. You will begin to experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. This is why you don't have to wait until you get it together. Oh, but once I'm healed, once I finish this bout of therapy, hmm, hmm. But keep waiting, my friends, keep waiting. Waiting has a mental attitude. Waiting has a mental attitude. Search yourself and you'll see what I'm saying to you. You'll see in your life where you're just pause. You'll see in your life where you're doing it. You didn't lose sound. I'm just giving you an opportunity to process the information. Because a lot of us struggle with that. You, me, lots of people. But today, recognize now why you don't have to struggle. Because once you choose, this is another question I get all the time. Well, how will I know what to do? And I say, go back to the mundane and you'll begin to comprehend it. What do you do when you're thirsty? Do you go for a walk? You go for a light jog? No, when you're thirsty, you look for something to drink to whet your whistle, as my granny would say. Did you have to figure out what to do, or did you just follow the natural inclination? When something itches, what you doing? You gonna call George? Nah, you gonna scratch it. And depending on where it is itching, well, you might have to get a little bit creative, but you'll scratch it because that's what itching implies, scratching. Hmm. So do you have to figure it out? No, you don't. If you're bored, what do? Naturally, you seek entertainment. You see, every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. So you don't have to force it. You just have to get into the mood of it. And the more that you practice that mood, it becomes a habit. Now, why is that important to know? Because a lot of people ask, well, when do I know I'm done? Sir, good morning, sir. He's ready for the day. He sure is. Talking about let me holler at you. Oh, my rooster. So what are you going to wait for? You're going to wait for the opportunity? Fortune knocks once at every man's door. That is a proverb I used to hear. You know, opportunity knocks once at every man's door. Yeah, but if you are the one who is selecting your mood and rehearsing it, well, then opportunity will knock much more often for you. Not because you're a magician, not because of that at all. Just because you're opening yourself up to cause and effect. See what you're doing? You're practicing until what? It becomes muscle memory. And how do you know that something has become muscle memory? When you do it. But what would I be doing, Angela? How is that thing going to show itself as an experience? Because when you lay down the pathway through your living from the end, from persisting in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, what does that look like by way of an experience? Well, that depends. What did you rehearse? What did you rehearse? This is the part that we stumble over because we want to know what the experience is going to be. The experience is going to match the mood every time. So if you are cantankerous and a bitter Betty and an angry Sue and a grumpy Gus, well, then it stands to reason you're going to have experiences that make you grumpy. Now, the intensity of your grumpiness will tell you how much you're going to feel grumpy. Why? Because rhythm compensates. So the level with which you feel is the level at which you will experience the thing. So when somebody asks me, well, I want a job. How do I become the job? I want a car. How do I become a car? You become those objects by recognizing the mental attitude that they have. If you had a new car, can you hear him from The Price is Right? And it's a new car. You know how the crowd goes wild. How would that feel to you if that were your new car? Well, how would you feel? Don't tell me how you would feel. Feel how you would feel. Feel how you would feel. And when you start to feel how you would feel, now you're setting down the pathway for that feeling. And that feeling will bring about the corresponding experience or effect. So you can go, oh my God, what a coincidence. So, do you grasp what you're doing? So that when Neville Goddard tells you to persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you say, oh, yes, I know what that is. And I know why persistence. Or will you continue to say, I don't know what to do? I don't know how to manifest this thing in my life. Because you are not the one manifesting it. You are simply choosing the effect, and the cause will bring it about. Just like if you're hungry, you're going to be downstairs rummaging through that fridge for something to snack on. And now, what you snack on is determined by how you feel. You say, ooh, I feel like eating something sweet. Ooh, I feel like something salty. That's how you feel. So, how you feel is what you will experience because rhythm always compensates. Why do you know that rhythm compensates? Because it tells you as within, so without. So, if it's within at 80 degrees, you have to feel it at 80 degrees. You make me want to sing it. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Feeling hot, hot, hot. So, what did Nelly say? When you start feeling hot, what happens? You take off your clothes when you're hot, naturally, because you want to cool down. So when you out at the beach, are you in your full winter parker? No, because it's hot. So the experience, the level of heat, the intensity of the heat matches the amount of clothes you're gonna put on. Rhythm always compensates. And how cold it is, well, that'll be determined by how many layers you put on. If you're taking the bus, your layers are going to be more because you're going to be outside longer. But if you're driving, you'll still have layers, but just not as many because you can turn the heater on in the car. So rhythm always compensates. As within, so without. So that's why when Neville tells you to feel it, you paint the picture. What would I be doing? And you see, another morning inspirations topic is we don't live in hypotheticals because we don't. If I ask you, look, man, how would it feel if you met dot 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 that favorite person you would like to meet? How would you feel? How would you behave? Now I know me. Now depending on who it is. I met a man last night on Instagram. He bakes sourdough bread. And he explains things. He says, okay, if you want to really recognize what it looks like when it's ready, he says, don't watch the clock. Don't watch the clock. Well, it says it has to proof for 8 hours. Don't watch the clock. He goes, learn to pay attention to the temperature in the kitchen. The hotter it is, the faster it will rise. The cooler it is, the longer or the slower it will take to rise. He says, when you begin to watch and feel how the sourdough performs in your hands, he says, you'll become intuitive. So, what do you think you're doing there in that spot? When you begin to watch what your starter looks like, is it bubbly? Is it stretchy? What? When you begin to see how it looks like when it's ready, you are setting down a neurological pathway by your mere interaction with this sourdough, and you're watching it. So every time you look at it and you go, it's not ready yet, you are looking for when it is ready. And so now when it is, your brain says, oh, here is the evidence of when it is ready. And when you see it, you're like, ah, yeah. So that now every time you go to bake, you know what sign to look for. Now when you begin to handle the dough, when you stretch and fold, when you slap that dough on the counter, whew, some people can be violent with their sourdough, beating that thing like it owes them money. You don't want that. You just got to learn what it feels like in your hands. Is it hard to work with? Or is it easy to fold? When does it go from being hard to being just right? But that depends. How long have you been playing with it? You get a sense of what it feels like. So that the next time you deal with it, your brain says, oh, I remember what I need to do with sourdough. I know what it looks like and feels like. And you know what happens from there? Every time you bake, the loaf of bread is going to come out the exact same way. But you have to learn it first. And this is where this gentleman comes in. I want to say I just happened to come across his feed, like the thing, his short. I just happened to come across it. Happened to come across it like it's a coincidence. I wonder why. Because I was saying to myself, I don't know, something still feels like it's whooping my arse. There's something I'm not understanding. What is it? What am I not seeing? What don't I understand? It doesn't mean that I stop baking. It means that I go through it again. I do it again. I do it again. I don't say, well, I tried it and that didn't work. Oh, but Angela, what does sourdough have to do with manifestation? What does sourdough have to do with changing my life? Persisting in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That is why those two things are similar. Because you have to persist. And he asked me a number of questions last night. One of the questions he asked me was, what percentage is your hydration? I laughed so hard. I said, sir, what does that mean? I said, what you mean? What percentage is my hydration? I said, I'm seriously asking the question because I do not even know I do not understand what that means. And he says to me, tell me how much water you used and how much flour you used. And we'll get the percentage and that'll be your hydration. I said, oh. He says, what's your climate right now? And I'm like, well, it's still winter. And here's the temperature of the kitchen. He says, well, your hydration is not enough. I said, sir, how could you know that? You're not in my kitchen. He says, first of all, you're not even working with a white flour. He says, you're using a whole grain flour. He goes, that flour behaves differently. You've got to learn how that behaves. So you're going to have to work with it to get the sweet spot. But here are the hard and fast rules of it. A whole grain flour, the enzymes will respond faster than if it was just a white flour because it has more nutrients in it. So all that time that you're waiting, shorten your time because you have more activity. He goes, but you'll have to play with it to see how much more to shorten it. So when I tell you to experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality, it means you've got to test what you would be doing naturally. You've got to go through your mind's eye, what would I be doing? To find what you would be doing so that when you get it, you say, that's what I'd be doing. Well, then that's what you'll rehearse because that's when you find your sweet spot. But you and I are out here in these streets looking at Tom, Dick, Harry, Mary Jane, and George and talking about, oh, but their life is better than mine. That's what we're doing. Instead of learning how to make yourself feel. We're talking about, I don't know how. It doesn't seem to work for me. When you know exactly, if I got to just mention a particular name to you, you know how you'll feel. But if I tell you, okay, do it for yourself now, bring up that feeling at will. I don't know how. When every single time we go through life, we know how to make ourselves feel a particular way. We turn on our favorite song and we bust in a move, and you're talking about you don't know how to make yourself feel what you would be doing. Uh, well, at some point in your life, you will have to trust yourself. Just like, and listen, when he messaged me back, he says, well, send me a picture when the loaf is done. And I sent him the picture, and he said, I see. And he gave me some pointers. And I and I said, well, if that isn't an answer to prayer, what was my prayer? Did I get on my knees in the corner and say, Father Jesus, I need to figure this sourdough out. You got to show me what to do, Lord. No, I just said something's not right with this sourdough. I'm almost there. I can feel it. But what am I missing? I want to see it. I know the rules of sourdough for the most part. And did I have to go look for him? No. He came across my feed. Why? Because I was looking. Because I needed a question answered. I asked the question and the answer came. I didn't force the answer. Oh, but Angela, that's just baking bread. It's not the same as living real life. So, what do you think we do in real life? We cook, we clean, we bake, we dance, we hoot, we holler, we cavort, we bathe, or we don't. Those are the things we do naturally. So, what are you going to do today? What are you going to do? You're going to look at your life. And this thing that you're looking at in your life annoys you because you're tired of seeing it. It makes you say, man, you know. You know what that sound is. It'll make you go, man. But then you will ask yourself, what would I be doing in reality if I didn't have this problem? We're going to talk about problems another day. because some of us get stuck in the thing of solving them, but that's another day. What would you be doing? And you take the time to actually decide what you would be doing, so that when you get that one thing down that implies you are the man or the woman that you want to be, that one thing. And well, now you get the mindset and the action that goes with it, and you practice both those things. And you will find that your inner conversations will change to match. Well, naturally, you don't have to force the inner conversation to change. Just change the mental attitude, and the inner conversation changes to match. And then you will realize that you're not fighting yourself anymore. And then you will catch yourself saying, oh my God, my life has changed. You'll catch yourself, you'll make snap. I did change. Hmm. And then you'll be all up in my DMs telling me, oh my God, I did it. And I'll be in your DMs talking about, oh, really? Tell me more. I didn't even know that was possible. Insert side eye right there. Of course, I know it's possible. All we get to do is to choose the mental attitude you want to live under, because that's what's going to rule your life. The mental attitude that you habitually live under. Choose it. Take your time and choose it. There ain't no rush. You got your whole life to live it out. Hello? So take your time and choose it, so that you can do it well and rehearse it until that neurological pathway is set, and you can do it like the back of your hand, or you could do it with your eyes closed. What are you doing? Putting yourself in the mood so that you experience that mood out in the world. And you will experience that mood by way of the interaction, the thing, the car, the house, the spouse, the food. You'll experience it because you spent all this time rehearsing it until it takes on the tone of reality. Anywho, I trust it makes sense. I got to check on my starter because I made some more. Mm-hmm. It's one of the questions he asked me. He goes, "Oh, how old is your starter?" I'm like, uh, mm, I don't know. I just know I feed it when I want to use it. Uh, he must have been shaking his head, girl. This is what I can tell you. Because everybody on the internet is talking about sourdough. Everybody is. But not everybody is teaching you. And that's what he's doing. Teaching me so that I begin to comprehend myself and what it feels like. Because I told him, I said, oh, I'm just about to cry. He goes, don't cry. He goes, you're not doing anything wrong. Over bread, y'all. So you know what to do now, right? That's okay. Come back again tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll tell you again, and you can practice again, too. Who's here with us today? I got Miss McQueen in the house. Oh, Kay is in the house. Hello, darling. Long time no see. Long time no see. Well, Twitter is for the replay gang. And on YouTube, I don't know, they haven't made themselves known in the chat yet, but as usually, Melly Mel, hey girl. Maybe even Mr. Stafford Jr. and the better man, Liza, ray of sunshine. Speaking of Ray, I have not seen Ray today on Fanbase. I trust that it makes sense. I trust that it makes sense and you will test it out. Because whatever it is you practice, you will develop an intuition for. Well, what is intuition? Inner knowing. And we train ourselves for it. Mm-hmm. Why and how? Through practice and neurological pathways. You see, the brain is so magnificent is that when you set down a neurological pathway for a mode of behavior that you want to do and a particular attitude that you want to have, even it has little signs that it looks for. And your brain says, ooh, this feels familiar. This is what she wants, isn't it? All that she wants is another baby. She's gone tomorrow, but all that she wants. Your brain says, ooh, you want some of this. Well, how did it know? Because the neurological pathway feels familiar to it. Feels like you've done it before. Oh, yes. Anyhow, go forth today. And for the love of God and all things, practice. What you gonna practice? Seeing your present situation and naming it. Don't try and pretend it's not happening. Pretend. Girl, you can't fool yourself. So don't pretend. Acknowledge it. Step 2, experience in imagination what you'd be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be, which means what? Get that mental attitude, and the accompanying behavior will show itself so that you'll understand in order to get the car, you got to be the car. Well, what's the mood of the car? You got to become the mood. Yes, darling. And then you become the mood. Oh, yes. You set down this neurological pathway. Now, the intensity with which you set that pathway down will determine the intensity with which you experience it. Why? Because rhythm always compensates. Oh, yes. How deep is your love? Yeah. How deep is it? What's the intensity? And then you stay the course. You rehearse and rehearse and rehearse until that thing takes on what? The tones of reality. So that what was once in the mind is now in the flesh. Because I love you. That's why I tell you. And I tell you every day. Every day. Cheryl Crow it. Every day is a winding road, right? Every day is an opportunity for you to get it right, get it tight. Every day. Every day is an opportunity. Anywho, don't let me keep y'all. Because you know YouTube was out here telling me 53 minutes. Oh my word. Yakety yak. Anyhow. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll see you right here again tomorrow. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Fanbase, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we discuss all things Neville Goddard through the lens of the 7 Hermetic Principles. Remember, holla at your girl. Send me a note. How you gonna send me a note? PositivelyAngela.com. That reminds me of Princess Bride when he's rolling down the hill. As you wish. gosh. She's like, Wesley. So positivelyangela.com. That's how you're going to holler at your girl. And let me know what's going on. You don't have to tell me your life story. I don't need to know your business. We need to know what you're doing, who you want to become. And so then we help you choose your best scene based upon who you are. We flesh it out of you. Because that's all I'm interested in. I don't care about anything else. It is irrelevant. So long as you know what you are, and then you know what you want to become, well then, rehearse the mental attitude. And becoming it is inevitable. You'll bring it from the inside out. Boy, you turn me. That's where you'll be bringing it from. Anywho, don't let me keep you, because I don't need to be hollered at anymore this morning, talking about feed me, Seymour. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. You know I love you. Now, allegedly, we're getting snow tomorrow. This winter felt like spring. I said, oh my. We'll see. We'll see how much snow we're going to get. Yikes. Anyhow, or as my grandmother, my other grandmother, so my mother's mother, she would say, well, anyhow, I can go ahead and do what God do. I tell you, pigeons, a pigeon speaks so lyrically. We're not singing, but we just speak lyrically. And I can hear her as clear as day in the back of my head. My mother's mother. She just had a way of speaking. She just did. Well, if the Lord wills, she would always say that. Not me, boy. Not me. That was my granny. Didn't know her very well. But that was my granny nonetheless. I'll catch y'all in the morning, 7 a.m. right here, Eastern Standard Time. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter fan base. PositivelyAngela.com. I love you. I'll see y'all tomorrow.